All right, so get ready because today we're diving into something pretty out there. You requested a deep dive into the Grand Fibonacci theory, and well, researching this was really something else.
Yeah, it's definitely not your typical everyday theory.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
a bit out there, but I think that's what makes it so interesting. So, to set the stage, the Grand Fibonacci theory basically says that the universe is like a giant orchestra, and we're all part of it. We're all vibrating with this cosmic energy, creating our own unique sound or cosmic resonance. And to help us break it all down, we've got excerpts from all kinds of sources, publications, articles, the whole works.
And we're going to do our best to give you a clear and concise look at this unusual theory, without getting too lost in the weeds.
So let's start with the basics, what the theory calls the music of existence. It says that our personal cosmic resonance is shaped by two main things, these subtle magnetic fields and the relative vacuum of space. Now, I know those sound a little intimidating.
Right, they do.
But stay with me.
Well, think of it this way. The subtle magnetic field is like the life force energy, the energy that flows through everything that's alive. And it's not just the magnetic field we know from like the Earth, but something more like fundamental, more subtle.
Okay, so like an underlying energy current. All right, I can kind of see that. But what about this relative vacuum of space? I mean, isn't a vacuum supposed to be empty? How can emptiness actually influence anything?
Well, that's where things get a little mind-bending. The Grand Fibonacci theory says that this relative vacuum isn't really empty. It's more like a state of pure potential, like a force that shapes how all that energy moves and interacts, almost like the conductor's baton guiding the cosmic symphony, if you will.
Whoa, so you're saying this vacuum is an active player in the universe? That's pretty wild.
It is, and the Grand Fibonacci theory says that these two forces, this subtle magnetic field and this relative vacuum, they work together to create a unique vibration inside each of us, our cosmic resonance.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this whole symphony thing works, but where does our body fit into all of this?
Well, that's where it gets even more interesting. The theory says that our junk DNA, that's what scientists call non-coding DNA. It's not actually useless junk like some people think. Instead, it acts more like an antenna picking up on and amplifying our soul's energy.
Wait, hold on, soul energy. Are we talking about the actual soul here?
Absolutely. The Grand Fibonacci theory suggests that our souls aren't created when we're born, but are actually higher dimensional waves,
Yeah.
Originating from out there in the cosmos. And that our non-coding DNA, with its complex fractal patterns, it's what allows those soul waves to connect to our physical bodies.
So our DNA is like a bridge between our physical and spiritual selves.
Exactly. It's the point where our soul's energy meets the physical matter of our body.
Wow, that's a pretty big idea. But what happens to this soul energy when we die?
Well, this is where the theory offers a new way of looking at death. It suggests that when we die, the soul isn't bound to the body anymore, and it gets released back into the cosmos. You can think of it like a wave returning back to the ocean. Not an ending, but a transformation.
That's a really different way to think about death. It's not an end, but more like going back home.
Exactly, a return to the source. And this idea that our soul is this cosmic being leads to some pretty fascinating implications, especially when you think about how these soul energies interact with each other. And that's where the theory's look at intimacy gets really interesting.
Okay, so we're saying our souls are these like cosmic waves from the universe, and they're connected to our bodies through our DNA.
Right.
But how do these soul waves interact with each other? I mean, this is where the theory's take on intimacy gets really wild.
It suggests that when two people connect really deeply, their individual like cosmic melodies, maybe they're a little incomplete on their own, but they can actually like merge and create this much more harmonious resonance. Imagine like two instruments, each playing a beautiful melody, but kind of unfinished. And then suddenly they come together and create this richer, more complete symphony.
Wow, that's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
So you're saying that intimacy, it's not just about feeling close to someone, but it's also like a merging of energies on a cosmic level.
Exactly. And this merging, this like temporary fusion of cosmic waves, it can be super powerful. It can lead to healing growth, a sense of wholeness that goes way beyond just the physical or emotional.
It's like two puzzle pieces finally finding their perfect fit. It makes me think about those relationships where you feel like totally seen and understood by another person, almost like they're seeing right through you.
Exactly. That's a great example of how this cosmic resonance could be playing out in our everyday lives. And speaking of connections, the Grand Fibonacci theory goes even further. It says that we're not just connected to each other, but to the entire cosmos through what it calls a cosmic blueprint inside us.
A cosmic blueprint? What does that even mean?
Well, the theory says that each of us has this unique energy system, kind of like a map of the universe inside our own bodies. And this map is made up of these things called planetary nodes, which are energy centers that match up with different planets and their specific influences. And these planetary nodes, they're connected to our chakras, those energy centers you hear about in yoga and meditation.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're talking about those spinning wheels of energy that are supposed to, like, influence our well-being and stuff.
Exactly. But in the Grand Fibonacci theory, they have this much more literal cosmic significance.
Ah.
Each chakra, along with these 3 extraplanetary ring nodes, is linked to a specific planet and its energy signature. Like, for example, Mercury is known for its quick dynamic energy, right? And it's associated with sexuality and creativity, and that resonates with the sacral chakra. Venus, the planet of love and beauty, represents nurturing and compassion, which reflects the heart chakra energy.
So it's like having a mini solar system inside of us with each planet affecting different parts of our being. It's a pretty intricate system.
It is, and to make it even more relatable, the theory even suggests that ancient commandments like the Ten Commandments could actually be seen as guidelines for keeping this cosmic blueprint balanced. They're not just moral rules, but like instructions for keeping our interplanetary system in harmony.
Whoa. That's a totally different way of looking at ancient wisdom. It's like saying living a good life means keeping your cosmic energy in check. But where do men and women fit into all of this? Does the Grand Fibonacci theory say anything about gender roles in this cosmic dance?
It does, and this is where things get a little more complex and maybe even a little controversial. The theory suggests that men and women have unique roles to play in this cosmic dance, mirroring how knowledge and intuition interact in our search for the divine.
Okay, I'm listening, but I gotta say the whole men are from Mars, women are from Venus thing always makes me kind of nervous. It sounds a little too stereotypical, don't you think?
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It's important to approach this part of the theory with, nuance and an open mind. What the Grand Fibonacci theory is trying to say is that men and women, while totally equal in their cosmic significance, they have different energetic tendencies that complement each other.
So it's not about one being better than the other, but that both are essential for the whole picture.
Exactly. It's about balance and synergy. The theory uses this pretty complex analogy to explain it, drawing on the concept of partial differential equations, or PDEs.
PDEs.
Okay,
You're going to have to break that down for me.
sure. Think of it this way. Men, through their pursuit of knowledge and rational understanding, they create a framework, a structure, represented by one part of the PDE. Women, through their intuition and emotional intelligence, they provide the energy, the dynamism that activates and fills that framework, represented by another part of the PDE. Together, these seemingly opposite forces combine to unlock higher states of being. Just like the solution to a PDE emerges from the interaction of its different components.
So it's like men build the house and women make it a home.
That's oversimplifying it a bit, but it kind of captures the essence. The idea is that it's this synergy, this interplay of seemingly opposite forces that pushes us towards greater understanding both individually and as a whole. It's like saying logic without intuition is a car without fuel, and intuition without logic is a map without a destination. You need both to really move forward.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But doesn't this theory risk putting people into boxes based on their gender? What about people who don't fit neatly into these roles?
That's a valid point, and it's where you need to be careful how you interpret the theory. It's not saying that all men are purely rational or all women are purely intuitive. It's about recognizing that these energies exist in all of us regardless of gender, and the ideal is to find a balance between them. You could say that the ultimate goal is to move beyond these binary roles and achieve a state of wholeness that includes both knowledge and intuition.
So finding that inner balance is key. But if we're all striving for this cosmic harmony, what throws us off balance? What are some of the challenges we face?
Well, according to the Grand Fibonacci theory, one of the biggest challenges is simply growing up. Think about it as children. We're naturally in tune with that cosmic energy, that sense of wonder and connection. We're like perfectly tuned instruments resonating with the symphony of the universe.
Yeah, kids definitely seem to have this direct connection to that sense of awe.
Right. But as we get older, we start to build up these layers of conditioning, societal expectations, limiting beliefs. We go through heartbreak, disappointment, trauma. All of these experiences create this kind of dissonance in our cosmic melody, throwing us off balance. It's like our instrument starts to sound out of tune.
So it's like life itself throws a wrench into our cosmic symphony.
In a way, yes. And that's where the idea of enlightenment comes in. The Grand Fibonacci theory says that enlightenment is about rediscovering that childlike resonance, that pure connection to the cosmos. It's about shedding those layers of conditioning and going back to our original state of harmony. It's not about becoming something new, but remembering who we truly are.
It's like we're trying to retune our instruments so we can play our part in the cosmic orchestra better.
Exactly. And the theory suggests there are lots of ways to achieve this, from meditation and mindfulness to just spending time in nature, connecting with the earth, and letting ourselves experience joy and wonder.
So it's about finding things that help us reconnect to that source of cosmic harmony. But if this grand Fibonacci theory is right, and we're all connected by this subtle energy field, doesn't that also mean we're all influencing each other's energy? Does the theory talk about this interconnectedness?
Absolutely. And that's where things get really interesting when we think about what this theory means for society as a whole.
Mhm.
If we're all part of this grand symphony, then our thoughts, actions, and even our emotions must have an impact on the overall harmony.
So we have a responsibility to play our part well, to contribute to the beauty of the symphony, not the dissonance.
Exactly. And that's what we'll be exploring in the final part of our deep dive, the future implications of the grand Fibonacci theory. We'll delve into its potential to revolutionize our understanding of healing energy and even the future of humanity itself.
Okay, so welcome back to the show. We're in the final stretch of our deep dive into the grand Fibonacci theory.
That's
We've talked about the universe as this giant orchestra and our DNA acting like antennas for our souls. But now let's shift gears and look ahead. You were really curious about what this theory means for the future of humanity. So let's get into that. What does the grand Fibonacci theory say about where we're headed?
Well, this is where it gets really exciting. The theory kind of paints this picture of humanity evolving towards a state of, greater cosmic harmony.
Mm.
Like imagine an orchestra at first, it's a little messy out of tune, right? But then gradually it starts to sound better. Each instrument finds its place, its unique voice, and contributes to a richer, more beautiful symphony. That's the vision the grand Fibonacci theory offers for humanity.
So we're all becoming like better musicians, learning to harmonize with each other and the universe itself. That sounds amazing. But how does that actually look in real life? Are we talking about some kind of utopia where everyone's enlightened and living in perfect harmony?
Well, not necessarily utopia, but maybe a world where we're more aware of, how we're all connected, more in tune with our own inner symphony and how it fits into the symphony of the cosmos. Imagine a world where healing is less about, invasive procedures and more about restoring energetic balance, where energy comes not from fossil fuels, but from the very fabric of space itself. And technology, it's not something separate from us, but an extension of our consciousness.
Whoa, now that would be a game changer. But how realistic is all of this? I mean, are there any scientists or researchers actually looking into these possibilities?
There are, and that's what I find so encouraging. The grand Fibonacci theory, even though it's still on the fringes of science, it's sparking interest in some really interesting fields, like bioenergetics, for example. It's a growing area of research that explores the subtle energy fields around living things. Then there's quantum biology, which is looking at how quantum phenomena might be influencing biological processes, even at the cellular level.
So even if the grand Fibonacci theory isn't totally accepted by mainstream science, it's pushing people to ask new questions to see the world in a different light. That's pretty cool in itself.
It is. It's like the theory is planting seeds that are starting to sprout in unexpected places. It's challenging us to, broaden our understanding of what's possible, to bridge the gap between science and spirituality, between what we can see and what we can't.
And that bridge between science and spirituality, that's a big theme in the grand Fibonacci theory, isn't it? It's not just about understanding the universe through equations and formulas, but through intuition, through actually experiencing this cosmic energy firsthand.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're not just observing the universe, we're part of it. We each play a role in this grand cosmic symphony, and our own vibrations, our thoughts, emotions, even our actions, they all contribute to the overall harmony or dissonance.
So it's like we have a responsibility to play our part well, to be mindful of how we're affecting the energy field both individually and as a whole.
That's a really important point, and one that the grand Fibonacci theory really drives home. It's not enough to just understand the theory in our heads. We need to live it to embody it.
Yeah.
It's about becoming more conscious creators of our own reality, recognizing that we're not just pawns in some cosmic game, but co-creators of the universe itself.
That's a powerful idea, but also a little overwhelming. If we're all co-creators, then how do we know what our responsibility is? How do we make sure we're playing the right notes?
That's the big question, isn't it? And I don't think there's an easy answer, but maybe that's part of the beauty of it. We don't have a rule book or some cosmic cheat sheet.
Yeah.
We're invited to explore, to try things out, to listen to our own inner symphony and see how it fits with the symphony of the universe.
So it's about trusting our gut, following our hearts, and trying to live in a way that, contributes to something bigger than ourselves.
I think that's a really beautiful way to put it. It's about finding our own rhythm in the grand orchestra of existence.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Grand Fibonacci theory, I'm left with this sense of awe, a newfound appreciation for how everything's connected, and maybe even a little cosmic inspiration to, play my own part a little better.
That's the magic of these kinds of ideas.
Yeah.
They challenge us to open our minds, question what we think we know, and embrace the mystery and wonder of it all.
Exactly. So to everyone listening out there, we encourage you to keep thinking about the Grand Fibonacci theory, to explore what it means for your own life and see how it resonates with your own experiences.
And remember, you are a note in the cosmic symphony. Play your part with passion, with purpose, and with an open heart.
Thank you for joining us on this journey into the Grand Fibonacci theory. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep resonating with the wonders of the universe.